students, today we will discuss about the animal tissue. Animal tissue are of following types: epithelial tissue, muscular tissue, connective tissue, and nervous tissue. Epithelial tissue. It is protective in nature. It protects the internal body organ and also help in the secretion and absorption. Muscular tissue. Muscular tissue help in the movement and locomotion of the body. Connective tissue. Connective tissue is sportive in nature. It binds the various body parts and also help in the transportation of the respiratory gases, carbon dioxide and oxygen, and also the exchange of the excretory product or transportation of the excretory product. Nervous tissue. It helps in the control and coordination of the animal body or human body. Epithelial tissue. It is of 5 types: squamous epithelium tissue, cuboidal epithelium tissue, columnar epithelium tissue, glandular epithelium tissue, and ciliated. Muscular. Muscular is of further 3 types: striated, unstriated, and cardiac. Striated, unstriated muscle, and cardiac muscular tissue. Now connective tissue. Connective tissue is of following type: areolar loose connective tissue, dense regular connective tissue, and this dense regular connective tissue is of further 2 types: tendon and ligament. Next is adipose skeletal connective tissue. Skeletal connective tissue is of further 2 types: cartilage and bone. Next is fluid or vascular connective tissue. It is of 2 types: blood and lymph. Next is epithelial tissue. It is the simplest tissue. It provides protective covering. Cells are closely packed. These cells are closely packed and they are without the intercellular space. They have no space between the cell and are closely packed. That's why it acts as the protective covering. It acts as the protective covering. Just find in the skin, lining of the mouth, lining of the blood vessels, and lung alveoli. What are the functions of the epithelial tissue? Epithelial cells protect the underlying cells from the drying, injury, bacterial and viral infections, and from some harmful effect of the chemicals. Epithelial tissue helps in the absorption of water and nutrients also. Help in the elimination of the waste product. It's help in the protection and absorption and also the secretion and transportation of the waste product. Some epithelial cells secrete a variety of substances such as sweat, saliva, enzymes, etc. Are the different type of the epithelial cell. First is squamous epithelial tissue. Squamous epithelial tissue. It consists of the extremely thin and flat cell. These are the thin and flat cell forming a delicate lining, just like in the esophagus and the lining of the mouth. These are the example of squamous epithelium. Skin epithelial cells are arranged in many layers. In the skin, epithelial tissue are arranged in many layers to prevent the wear and tear. Since they are arranged in the layers, the epithelium is called stratified squamous epithelium. Next is cuboidal. As the name suggests, cuboidal cube-like cell. These are the cube-like cell with rounded nuclei. And forms the lining of the kidney tubules and ducts of the salivary gland, where it provides the mechanical support, and it also helps in the absorption, excretion, and secretion. Cuboidal epithelium help in the absorption, excretion, and secretion. Third type of the epithelial tissue is columnar epithelium. Columnar means column-like, long or tall cell. It consists of the tall cells which are pillar-like. These are the pillar-like or column-like cell having elongated nuclei. It is found in the inner lining of the intestine where absorption and secretion occur. The columnar epithelium facilitates the movement. It helps in the movement across the epithelial barrier. Next is ciliated epithelium. Ciliated epithelium. In the respiratory tract, the columnar epithelium tissue also have cilia. These cilia are the hair-like projections. These are hair-like structure on the outer surface of the epithelial tissue. These cilia can move and their movement pushes the mucus forward to clear the respiratory tract. These cilia help in the movement of the mucus. This type of epithelium is thus called the ciliated columnar epithelium. Next is fifth type of the epithelial tissue is glandular epithelium. Sometimes epithelium cell acquires additional specialization structure. These are called the gland cell, which can secrete the substance at the epithelial surface. A portion of the epithelial tissue fold inward to form a multicellular gland called the glandular epithelium. Just like the mammary gland and salivary gland are the example of the glandular epithelium, and these help in the secretion of the substance. Connective tissue. As the name suggests, connective means connect the various body parts. Connective tissue is specialized to connect the various body organs. It can connect the bone to bone, muscles to bone, or bind tissues and give support to the various parts of the body by forming a packing around organs. Cells of the connective tissue are loosely spaced. They are loosely spaced and are living cell and embedded in the intracellular matrix. Matrix may be jelly-like substance or may be fluid or may be dense or rigid. In animal, connective tissue are of 5 types. First is areolar loose connective tissue. They have the loose cell. Air space is present between them. These are the loose and cellular connective tissue and consist of the two kind of the fibers. White collagen fibers and yellow elastic fiber. They act as a supporting and packing tissue. It acts as a supporting and packing tissue between organs lying in the body cavity. They are found between the skin and muscles, around blood vessels and nerves, and in the bone marrow. It helps in the repair of the tissues. Next is dense regular connective tissue. Dense. It is fibrous connective tissue having densely packed. These are the dense cell. These are densely packed collections of the fibers and the cells. It is the principal component of the tendon and ligaments. Tendon and ligaments. Tendon. Tendon are the strong and non-flexible and join muscles to the bone. These joins the muscles to the bone and they are strong and non-flexible. While ligament, they joins the bone with the bone at the joint and they are elastic and flexible. Tendon. It is formed of the white fibrous connective tissue. Ligament consists of the yellow fibrous connective tissue. Next is adipose tissue. Adipose tissue. This tissue is an aggregation of the fat cells or adipocytes. Adipocytes or fat cells are present in the adipose tissue. Fat cells are rounded or oval shaped. It serves as a fat reservoir. It stores the fat and keep the visceral organ in position, forming shock absorbing cushion. It acts as a shock absorbing cushion around kidneys and eyeballs. Fat storing adipose tissue is found below the skin and between the internal organs. The cells of these tissues are filled with the fat globules, and storage of the fat act as an insulator. Skeletal tissue. Skeletal or supporting tissue includes cartilage and the bone, which forms the endoskeleton of the vertebrate body and protect the vital organ of the body. It is of two types, cartilage and the bone. Skeletal tissue is of two types, cartilage and the bone. Cartilage are soft and flexible. Cartilage are soft and flexible, and bone are hard and non-flexible. Cartilage is present in the ear and trachea and nose. It is soft and highly flexible, but bone are very hard and non-flexible. Blood vessels are absent in the cartilage, but in bone blood vessels are present. Matrix is made up of the proteins and sugar, but in the bone, matrix is made up of the proteins and some mineral salts like calcium, phosphorus, etc. A narrow cavity always absent in the cartilage, but a narrow cavity is always present in the bones in interior. Matrix is uniform in the cartilage, but matrix is arranged in concentric circle in the bones. Cartilage is non-porous, but bones are porous. Canaliculi are absent in the cartilage, but canaliculi are present in the bones. Fluid or vascular tissue. The tissue links the different part of the body and maintain continuity in the body. It includes blood and the lymph. It includes the blood and the lymph. Lymph it is a colorless fluid. It is a colorless fluid having the plasma and WBC. Lymph escape out from the blood capillaries into the body tissues. It helps in the exchange of material between the tissues and the blood. Due to the presence of WBC, lymph protects the body against the infections. It forms the defense or immune system of the body. It is a fluid connective tissue. It is a liquid connective tissue. It consists of two parts. First is plasma and second is blood cells or blood corpuscles. Blood cells or blood corpuscles. Plasma. Plasma is a fluid matrix. It is a fluid matrix and contains proteins, salts and hormones. And its main function is transportation of the material, and it is colorless. It is colorless. Blood cells or blood corpuscles. There are three types of the cells float in the plasma and blood cells. All these consist of the blood, and these are the RBC, red blood corpuscles, WBC, white blood corpuscles, and blood platelets. RBC is also called erythrocytes. Erythrocytes. These are circular and disc shaped. No nucleus is present in the RBC, and a pigment, red color pigment is present in the RBC, that is hemoglobin. Hemoglobin. That's why they have the blood have the red color. Leukocytes. WBC is larger than the RBC. They are colorless and have nucleus in it. Blood platelets. Blood platelets are also called thrombocytes, and they help in the clotting of the blood at the time of injury. They are non-nucleated and small size, and their count number is 250,000 per cubic millimeter of the blood. And when these platelets fall down during the dengue severe condition will happen. These are the same platelets or the blood platelets or thrombocytes. Now WBC are of further two types, granulocytes and agranulocytes. Granulocytes mean granules are present in it, and agranulocytes, no granules are present or granules are absent in them. Granulocytes are of three types: basophils, eosinophils, or neutrophils. Agranulocytes are of two types: lymphocytes and monocytes. Now, what are the functions of the blood? Blood transport. Blood help in the transportations of the nutrients, hormones, vitamins to the tissues and carry the excretory product to the excretory organ. It also helps in the transportation of the respiratory gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide. Blood platelets help in the clotting of the blood. Blood conduct heat and regulate the body temperature. WBC fight with the germs or engulf the germs, and WBC act as the soldier of the body. It is the part of the animal tissue. Muscular tissue are of three types: striated, unstriated, and cardiac. Striated, unstriated, and cardiac. Striated muscular tissue is also called skeletal muscular tissue. Unstriated is also called smooth muscular tissue. Striated. These cells are cylindrical. Unstriated cells are long. Cardiac muscle cells are cylindrical. Striated muscle cells are not branched. In unstriated cells are not branched, but in cardiac cells are branched, just like this. These are unbranched, unbranched, and branched. Now cells are multinucleated in the striated muscular tissue. These cells are multinucleated, but in unstriated, uninucleated. Uninucleated cells are present, and in cardiac, uninucleated cells are present. Here are the alternate light and dark bands are present. Alternate light and dark bands are present. That's why these are called the striated muscles. There are no band. No band are appear on the smooth muscle, and faint bands. Faint bands are present in the cardiac muscles. Its ends are blunt. Striated muscle end are blunt, but unstriated muscles end are tapering, and its end are flat and wavy. Striated muscles are present in hands, legs, and tongue, but unstriated muscles are present in the alimentary canal, blood vessels, etc. And cardiac muscles are present in the heart. As hands, legs, and tongue move according to our will, that's why they are called voluntary muscles, and these are called involuntary muscles, and these are also involuntary. Its surface cover the sarcolemma. These muscles are covered with the outer membrane called the sarcolemma, and the liquid filled in it is called sarcoplasm. And the surface cover the unstriated muscle with the plasma membrane, and in cardiac muscle surface cover with the sarcolemma. Now striated muscles contract rapidly. We can move rapidly, but soon we can fatigue. But soon these muscles get fatigued. Now unstriated muscles contract slowly and does not get fatigued. And cardiac muscles move rapidly, but it does not get fatigued. Striated muscles are voluntary, and unstriated muscles are involuntary, that are not according to our will. And cardiac muscles are also involuntary. These are the striated muscles. Here are the strips. Check like shirt. There are the check on the shirt, just like strips or light dark band are present. That's why called the striated muscles. But here no check like dark or alternate band. That's why they are the smooth muscles. And cardiac muscles, they are also striated. Light band are present in this. nervous tissue. This is also the animal tissue. The cells of the nervous tissue are highly specialized for being stimulated and then transmitting the stimulus. They are transmitting the stimulus very rapidly from one place to another within the body. And brain, spinal cord and nerves are the forming the nervous tissue. Nervous tissue composed with the brain, spinal cord and nerves. The cells of tissue are called the nerve cell or the neuron, or the functional and the structural unit of nervous tissue is called neurons. Neurons are the nerve cell. Each neuron has three parts. First is cytone or cell body. Second is dendrite and third is axon. Cytone. Cytone, it is the cell body of the nerve cell that has a large central nucleus. This is the cytone, and this cytone has a large nucleus and cytoplasm in it, and long thin hair-like structure arises from it. And dendrite, the short branched fiber of neuron which receive nerve impulse. These hair-like structure are called dendrites, and these receives the nerve impulse. Axon, this single long conducting fiber extending from a neuron that transmit impulse away from the cell body is called axon. This is the diagram of the nerve cell. These hair-like structure are called dendrites, and this is the nucleus, and this is the cell body or cytone. Here cytoplasm is filled, and this long fiber is called axon, and it is covered with the sheath that is called myelinated sheath, and this is the nerve ending. And here nerve impulse transmit from the dendrite to the cytone to the axon, and then nerve ending, and then to the other cell body dendrites or other neuron dendrites. Now, what are the functions of the nervous tissue? Nervous tissue control all the body activities. It helps in the control and coordination of all the activities of the body and carry the nerve impulse from one part of the body, from brain to the sensitive organ or from the sense organ to the brain. Thank you.